On behalf of Akuno Senko for Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. HOPE. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know. Every day, one step at a time, man. We gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice, focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate. And seeking knowledge make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
All right. Peace, family. We back with another one. Go ahead and tell us who you are, sister. Where you from?
Hey, I'm Kelly. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I live in Brooklyn, New York now.
Okay. How long you been in Brooklyn?
About like 3 years, but I've been in New York like about 8 years. I moved here after I graduated college in 2016. And I used to live in the Bronx and I lived in Manhattan, but I like Brooklyn. I like Bronx the most, but I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Okay. So you're from the town. I didn't know that. That's why. Okay, I'm glad to know that now. How long have you been active in your community work? Let's talk about your community work.
Okay, so I started my nonprofit in 2019 originally, and that's when we started working together almost that same year. We got to work that year heavy. It was heavy work those 2 years, so that was good. In 2019, I started my nonprofit organization, and it's focused on the revitalization of a Black-owned financial district. And so I've been doing that and been doing some active community work since I was in college. I mentored and did some work. I worked in childcare services. So it's been a while I've been in community service and community activism.
What drew your interest to become a part of the community?
I think I just always had a drive for being a part of the community and doing something for the community. Ever since I was growing up, I knew like that I would be doing something like working in the community, some type of community service. So I'm very community service oriented. So I think just that period and a lot of my studies in psychology kind of opened my mind up more to community service and community activism. So I think that's about pretty much my gist of it.
Can you tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and what it's about and its services?
So Universal Hands is focused on the revitalization of a Black-owned and operated financial district. And a financial district is like, if I could paint a picture, I guess it would be like financial institutions that are Black-owned and operated that can sustain our economic growth as we move forward. So Universal Hands is putting together a strategic team to go into predominantly Black communities where these massacres, so they say, occurred, and help rebuild them in a timely manner with unlimited amount of resources. And Universal Hands believe the resources will be coming from Black-owned established businesses already. And so I think it's important, that we have that right now, especially as we're talking about reparations and moving forward and building businesses. We need a financial district that can sustain our economic growth.
That's right. Let's get into, what was it, the Sunday Fun Days that we were doing?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What was the inspiration behind that?
I think just the Black Wall Street spirit, and bringing everybody together. Of course, the pandemic, because like business had like skyrocketed, and they needed a place, to start going and everything. So I just think like my whole spirit of, reconstructing Black Wall Street kind of drew that in to, bringing the community together and exchanging goods, putting our minds together to see what we can do. And so that's kind of what started Sunday Fun Day on Greenwood when we did do that.
You have anything that you're working on now in the community?
So right now I'm just focused on basically putting the team together now. I've done some things and, we want to start hosting like pop-ups, but not vendor pop-ups, because a lot of the pop-ups basically have been like people coming and, you know, selling things. But we want to begin to host pop-ups where there are businesses in the community and they bring their services, you know, and tell the community, you know, what they have to offer, letting the community know what's going on, what they have access to, you know, who's there to help as we're building business there. So that's about it, besides putting the strategic team together and reaching out to, you know, larger platforms and getting the message out there, you know, that we rebuilding, you know, our spirit of Black Wall Street, and coming together to sustain our economic growth as we move forward. You know, mass economic growth, that's what we own, of course.
And I got my daughter back there, so she know what she's doing. She been in 2 of the videos I have recorded over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she just keep popping in and making her interest in them. Anyway, back to the questions. Looking forward to working with you again here. Matter of fact, you were a part of the J's for A's when we initially started the J's for A's. I want to say that I appreciate you for that. You know, we got some photos together, and then I'm gonna look through my content and I'm gonna find them and put them on here. But what inspired the nonprofit? Everything has an origin, you know what I mean? So
I think well, actually, you know, that's funny because when people ask that, when I first had began to know that I was working in the community, you know, as I was getting through school and everything, it was first women's restoration, because I kind of like knew like where women was going to go. Like I seen our trajectory or whatever and where it was gonna go. And so I had this idea of restoring women, that we weren't operating in the sense of how we were created to operate. And so it was first focused on community, like women's restoration. That's what it was. It was women's restoration at first. But then I ended up getting with a guy and he's like, you know, guys as well, you know. And so he's like, okay, let's bring it together. And then we're like, well, men and women, you know, they make children. So now it's community restoration. And then, of course, you know, about Black Wall Street and the spirit and everything that was lost and how we began to move after COVID. It was just like, you know, it's only right that we have a financial district again. And so this is how we'll do it. And just coming together, putting the strategic team together with resources to help rebuild Black Wall Street, or, you know, a financial district is what, you know, financial district that's owned and operated, like I say. So that's really what kind of inspired that. At first it was women's restoration, and I was just focused on women at first, but now I'm just focused on the community as a whole, men, women, and children.
that's cool. That's right. I like that. Yeah, because I think that's something like my platform in its original essence, it was to help. Well, it still is, but I would like to get more sisters on her. You know, I'm gonna get better with my questions with the sisters on her. But one thing that's not discussed in our community, and it's kind of off subject, but is the domestic in our community, or the city girl activities in our community. Uh, as you said, the restoring of the women. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to think of how to work. I don't want to word this the wrong way, but what we're taught from our Prophet Noble Drew Ali is that we must uplift fallen humanity, and fallen humanity is our women. You know, and with the propaganda, with the television, the music, and all the stuff that we see that's going on in modern today society, we see that our women need it the most. Our brothers need help as well, but no nation shall rise no higher than its woman is what we're taught. And so we must help restore our women. You know what I mean? And then we can work on the brothers. Then we can work on them, because if you go back to I did interview the brother, we was talking about the breaking of the African woman. And so it is her that teaches her children how to be in this world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? According to this white man's world. You know what I mean? And so without her having true knowledge of self and that strength within herself, then it's crazy. Like, it's just,
No, I get it. It's like sometimes though, when men can sometimes say that, it's like women don't understand like the power that they hold, and they almost take it like an escape route to escape accountability, or it's just like, oh, so you want me to, stop doing this first, or whatever women is doing, or oh, men is doing this, but it's just like a power that women hold in the community. Even per se, when I first started working on women's restoration, I knew like, women needed to work, right? But it was like different places that women actually needed to be, like, because we control the nutrition. And so we needed to start more gardens and be, outside doing work. We needed to be, more so in the school and revamping the curriculum, because if you go back to everything, that's mainly where women can infiltrate things. It's like a secret infiltration, I always say, of where women can infiltrate things. Men is like really on the forefront. They like more so the front line,
Mm.
but women are more so like a secret infiltration in the healthcare field. So it's like it's secret ways to where women can get in and cause an impact. But sometimes it's just like we don't understand that when men are talking and tell us, oh, stop, do this, or don't do this and that, or whatever. It's just like, oh, you can't tell me what to do. And, everybody's sexual liberated and et cetera, et cetera. And so it's causing just this circle phenomenon of men do this, women do that. And it's like we can't get nothing done.
See, we live in this patriarchic society, but if we go back to the matriarchal society, when it was the woman, it was mother first.
Yeah.
And we recognize Mother Nature, Mother Earth. You know what I'm saying? The essence of the womb. And like I said, if you look at it, everything revolves around the quote unquote black woman, the melanated being, because brothers can't go without her. The pale man, he try to manipulate her, he try to control us into his world,
Right.
keep us divided from us, you know what I mean? And then the pink woman, she got to be around you. She got to be up under your culture, you know what I mean? She got to try to steal your culture, your language and everything. Even when you look at like other nations, other nationalities, they steal our culture.
Right.
Everybody follows us, but we want to be like everybody else, except
Mm-hmm.
for our true selves. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then even with like when I got into the more science, have you ever heard of womb science? The study of
Mm-mm.
the womb. Womb science is over 50,000 years old. They've been studying womb science since before our time. And so
Yeah.
they know Planned Parenthood, birth control.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? All these organizations have been put in place to control the melanated beings on this planet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we have to get back, like you said, the proper eating. You know what I mean? Back to eating healthy. You know what I mean? I need to take those notes myself, getting back to exercising properly, all this stuff that we need to get back into to be in tune with nature
Yeah.
versus being in tune or being out of tune with nature.
Yeah, that's definitely a falling point. And I feel like, it's coming. We have these conversations and everybody's more so on it. It's just like we need a large demonstration of it. And I feel like that's what my whole plight is as far as like reconstructing a financial district. We don't have anything that we work on together. We just work. We're just doing like a whole bunch of stuff, everybody moving here, everybody moving there. But we just need one common goal that we can work on, and that's reconstructing a financial district. Everybody can put their hands towards that. And then once we do that, everything else will flow out of it. But it's like we got to come together towards one common goal. And in order to do that, also, like you said, to sustain these things, you have to redevelop the curriculum in the education. You got to redo your physical, and what that means, because in order for us to pass on generational wealth, we got to be healthy. You feel me? Or else you can't pass on the generational wealth. We got to redo our spiritual, you understand, and actually figure out what's going on spiritually and what that means to us. We got to encourage more two-parent homes. You understand? Because two parents create the identity in the child to where we can, rid the streets of like violence and all this extra stuff that's going on. But we got to change our environment and we got to be willing to do it, and I think that doing it, but it's just not coming as fast as we want, but it's moving. But at the same time, like I always say, we got an agenda and they got an agenda. You understand? Like, people want to come up, and it's like this spirit in America of like business. You know, if you never paid attention to like the commercials and stuff, and like the shows, all of this is like on business and entrepreneurship. Even the banks, they promote like loans towards like business and all of this. But they have an agenda and we have an economic growth agenda that's separate from their agenda. You understand? So a lot of things that we're working on won't be supported by them because we have our own agenda that we got shit we got to work on. Excuse me. We got stuff we got to work on. You understand? That's not everybody else's plight, you know? So it's like we got to focus on our agenda, and then, you know.
That's like I interviewed an elder Morris brother earlier today, brother Abdullah Bay, and he was saying our issue was that what he's noticed in the last 30 years is that we try to fight all our battles individually. Like we get a traffic ticket, you know what I'm saying? We know the system is, those of us that know it's a false system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so instead of us trying to fight it individually, we should be fighting it as a nation, as a whole, as a people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when you saw, like when the original Panthers was around, if they saw a brother or sister being harassed, they came together as a people. You had to deal with all. You didn't deal with just one person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or like the brother was saying, if a Frenchman was to attack a Chinese man, you're not gonna see the Chinese president coming at them like, oh, you just attacked this one man. You attacked the whole Chinese nation.
Right. I see
You know
what
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we need to start thinking. That's how we need to start coming together. You're
Yeah,
not just harming one brother, one sister. You're harming us all as a whole.
But we've been plagued with this idea of individualism, you know, in our communities, and everybody, you know, oh, I got it on my own. And, you know, they think they in these high places, and people in positions, somehow they just got there on their own by their own hard work. And I don't know, you know, this ideology of individualism. So it's just like, you go do your thing over there, and I'm gonna do my thing over here, you know, and good luck to you type thing, you know. So it's like we plagued by this individualism that we gotta, you know, rid ourselves of.
Is that from a lack of trust?
It just is a lack of our whole environment, period, of how we're being stimulated. You understand? How the food make us think, how our stress makes us think. So it's just like a whole whirlwind that's causing us to think and behave the way that we are. We're not behaving the way that we were originally created to behave, you know. And so that's my whole plight with that. And once we get back to that, you know, we're going to take our rightful place, and everybody know then that's the end of the fat lady scene.
Yeah. Because I mean, I honestly feel like as me and the Morris brothers I build, when we talk about nationality and nation building and things like that, you know, once you get into the nationalism part of it, you start studying law, your birthright, you start reading a lot more. You know what I mean? You start understanding politics, you know what I'm saying? You start understanding world history, everything that's going on around you. You start understanding the matrix a little bit more. And so when it comes to us building a nation, you know, that's what we need. Like you say, generational wealth. You look at everybody else, they pass things down to their children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're the only ones who, again, individually, since we doing everything one deep by ourselves, we don't need nobody.
Yeah.
We don't have that to pass down to our children. We laugh and joke about the Hispanic because they be deep in one apartment, but they all in there saving their money. We'll laugh about it and acknowledge that they built their own community.
Right. Yeah, because
You know I mean,
people got things going. We got to get moving. We can't, you know.
Because what I'm seeing is that what everybody else is doing, they got it from Black Wall Street. When they saw Black Wall Street building those businesses and Black people being successful, there was no, I've never heard of, I mean, I haven't seen anything documented of any other Asian towns like that, anything like that prior to 1921.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everything else came way after. You know what I mean? And so in order for us to get, even then, you had Christians, Muslims, whatever back then, and they still were able to come together as a people and build those businesses and be successful with it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so, what are we missing?
And they have they have Asian Muslims, they have Christian Muslim, you understand? They have Christian Asians, they have all different types of like beliefs under their thing, but they come together when it's time to come together, you know, like they understand. I don't know, they understand. So
Get it. And that's why, like, when I got to be around the descendants of the massacre, I gained a lot more respect for them because they've seen that to where we are today.
right.
You see what I'm saying? They got to witness Dr. King and Malcolm. They got to see the Panthers organization. You know what I'm saying? They got to see Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? They got to see all this, and they got to where we harming ourselves today.
Yeah, it's almost like we digressed. You know, like
Exactly.
we went back, we didn't, you know, take the torch and run with it. And that's what we have the ability, you know, and everything to do right now. We in a divine time. We got technology, you feel me? They probably wish they had some stuff like this. Ain't no telling how many people, you feel me, they could have got to get on something. So it's like we in a divine moment to really make something shake, just long as we can keep building, you understand, and growing together. And
I was
just
at
wait.
I was at the Juneteenth, and it was crazy to me. And it's we in a time where at one point our ancestors couldn't have firearms.
Yeah.
They were not allowed to own firearms. To where I was in front of TPD, I got my gun on my hip.
Oh yeah, because
I'm
you know you
smoking.
got your I know you got your stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm smoking marijuana in front of the police. They walk up to me and my partners. It's 3 different blunts in rotation, and they shake our hand. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Now, just 50, 60 years ago, that would have been a hell no. What you doing, boy? You know what I mean? And so, like you said, we're in a time now where we're in a divine time where things are changing. It may not be for the best, or it may not be what we want right now.
Right.
But we are in a time where things are progressing to a small degree. You know what I'm saying? But if we recognize these things and what's going on, then we can use these things in our advantage.
Right. Yeah, it's leverage, I believe. Yes.
Like,
that's exactly right.
like we can use these type of platforms to build with people versus using technology to watch bullcrap fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so much we can do with our time.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting our time on the bullcrap. And I'm trying to watch what I say because I am gonna put this online, so I'm gonna watch what I say on here. But
Yeah, me too.
We have work to do. And I love my people. I'm for my people. I'm for the community and all that. And I don't care if you're a Hebrew, a Christian, Muslim, whatever. I want them all here. I mean, I feel like everybody has a story to tell. I don't mind building with anybody. If we're on the same mission, same goal, same legit, I don't mind building with nobody. You know what I mean? But we need to get these stories out. We need to figure out how can we get back to economic what's the word I'm looking for? Economic growth. We need to figure out how we can get back to producing our own foods. You know what I'm saying? Producing our own communities, because we can build it. I'm sure you know sisters that's in the medical field, sisters that know how to do all type of trades, and brothers that know all type of trades.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so in the essence, if I'm a fisher and this brother is a gardener, I need some lettuce to go with my sandwich, my fish sandwich. He might need some fish to go with his lettuce.
That's all it really need to go back to, you know.
I'm saying, yeah.
We definitely control our own economy. But the thing is, like I said, you know, and definitely with the job industry, the textile and how that took form, you got to know how to do stuff with your own 2 hands. Like a lot of people say we go back to that, we want to go back to that. They got pushback because they don't sew, they don't grow no food, they don't read and know how to engineer nothing. So it's like either like we're gonna have to definitely put them to work or whatever. But like people we gonna have to learn how to begin to do things with our own two hands. Like I said, whether that be sowing, growing, building, cutting down wood with axes, skinning animals, if that's what you want to eat. Because I always say, things go left, I might starve because I can't kill no animal. I'm not hunting it down and skinning the skin off and all of that. So that's gonna force me into vegetarian. But like, you gotta learn how to, hunt and fish, like you said. When we out there fishing, like, remember we was doing all that stuff though. Like, you gotta learn that stuff, how to shoot. Like, everything we was doing, everything we was working on and just built. So like, that's what we just really got to get back to, pushing our community back to that same stuff that we was really already on the kind of,
we've become handicapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we like you said, it's that we depend on them for too much.
Too much.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you got a brain for? I forgot the number, but the brother talked about it. There's so many cells in the brain, and then we're taught we can only use like 5 to 10%, but there's so many cells in the brain to where that pineal gland, that I forgot the verse in the Bible where it say Jacob went to a place called Peniel and he saw God face to face. But that pineal gland, that right there, is what controls the arm movement. Like when you in your car and you driving and you want to roll the window down, it's that one little middle function, you know what I mean, that controls everything when you moving. And so I call it the real you. In the movie Get Out, when he sunk into the sunken place and he was inside his body and he could see within, but like he couldn't control himself.
Yeah.
That's the real you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We probably got like 10 minutes on her, but yeah, that's the real you. Let me get that off my screen. And so long story short, once we tap into the real you, you know what I'm saying? The true you, not the you've been programmed to be.
Right.
However old you are now, whenever you come to the light, you know what I mean? Whether it was 10, 20, whatever, 30, whatever years you were when you came to that light, the real you, once you find that avatar and you're able to unlock the matrix, you're able to get up out this matrix. And you see, for example, I don't care about money. I know I need it to survive. I need to pay bills and all that. But I also know that paper dollar is made out of cotton. And I know that my ancestors worked on them plantations for those same presidents picking cotton. Them same faces on those bills are the same faces that owned my ancestors, and they were picking cotton for them same folks that we working for today.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? We busting out. Like you said, the brothers in the hood think they balling. I was selling the dope to the smokers and all that. You killing your own people for cotton.
Yeah. For nothing.
For nothing. It ain't got no wealth. It's not gold or silver. It ain't backed up by nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can rip it apart. It's worthless.
Yeah.
Only reason it has power is because we give it power.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so let's get back to what really brings wealth. Fuck power. What brings wealth?
Yeah. And like I said, that's what's gonna take, doing something with your own two hands, They are like carpentries or welders or, like a trade. Like, you got to know how to do something with your own two hands. Even if you think about like technology right now and AI, because not for nothing, and however people want it to seem, I don't know if they thinking like Armageddon or whatever, but like, we progressing and technology is moving. And so it is gonna close a lot of, stuff down, like a lot of people not gonna have jobs, right? And so only thing it's gonna force us to do is learn how to do something with our own two hands. But that's when authenticity and mass production will be separated. Because now it's like, do you want something authentic, like, or you want something mass produced? Whether it's a cake that's mass produced or clothing that's mass produced. It's never good because the dye in the clothing, sometimes all type of stuff. But when one person is baking a cake and they gotta go and search for these ingredients and et cetera, like it's a different take versus like mass production. So a lot of people are gonna have to learn how to do something with their own two hands, because if not, they're gonna get weeded out through trades and technology and the way technology is going. So I think
That's like
that's
a lot of the. I don't know if you've been to the WalMarts down here, but I know a couple of them that I've been to. They have more self checkouts now. You're starting to see less employees as cashiers.
Yeah, and you ain't even gonna need, how they got like here, because New York, they're a little bit over. So a lot of the grocery stores or like some of the Starbuckses and stuff, you
Mhm.
can enter it with your card. That's how you're gonna enter and leave with your card and pay for everything on your own. It's like you don't even really need people back there. The McDonald's, I don't know what honestly be going behind the McDonald's because it's such a small space now. It's
Mm.
and you can't even see in the back anymore. It's just a wall behind them and they take the order now, you think.
See,
So like you don't know what's going on back there. Like you don't want to be, involved in that. So of course,
and
like
then I'm glad you said that because you got to be thinking about that meat that they just approved.
yeah,
Uh,
the FDA just approved the synthetic meat or
yeah,
the
you know what I mean, so you can't even see what the machines is back there putting on your burger or putting in your food or what they giving you.
and they been putting stuff in the food, of course, you know that.
Mhm.
But now, especially processed meat, it's just grinded up stuff. But now, it's like ain't no telling.
Mhm. It's scary, and but the thing is that most of us know it and we'll continue doing it. And so that's what I got to break about myself. I'm talking about myself when I say that, you know what I mean? Because I know that our children are the future, and if we don't break ourselves, then how can we guide them down the right path? If we don't, it starts within, it starts with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get myself right in order for me to pass this information down to my child, or to pass
Right,
it down to her children. You know what I mean? Or
right.
like me trying to create something. The reason of me creating this platform is so that I can help others, but at the same time, I will be able to pass something, even if not the platform, but I'll be able to pass down whatever I can create from this platform down to my child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that who knows where it go, but speaking into existence, and she could take the wealth and do something with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Saying,
Of
or
course.
even in the essence, giving her the knowledge that I give her, the science that I teach her, she could take that and create something with that.
Yeah, it may be a time where we reach total rest, hopefully, to where we not always building and creating and working, Like, of course, we need some time where it comes to that, especially this experience and being spiritual and everything. Is just like, sometimes it's not always a time to create and build and make something, but we as humans, that's what we do. We always creating, building, and making it. So it's definitely good. We're gonna have to learn how to pass down this generational wealth if we want to keep it going. We gotta keep it going. That's our whole plight, existence. You understand? Like, so what else will we be doing here?
That's why I
Instead of
say
it
we gotta,
going.
I mean, like all that going out to the club, kicking. And I can't tell me, yeah, go have fun. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourself,
Right.
enjoy life. But we having too much fun, I think.
Yeah, we the biggest entertainers and we're the most entertained. Like we're
Yeah,
the biggest entertainers probably out of the whole world. Like they love flying us in from Tokyo and all types of places, to go entertain them. They be having concerts and stuff, billions, millions of people, whatever, show up to their concerts, because we're the biggest entertainers. Like we love being entertained. And I with that statement as well. Like it's a time for play and it's a time for work. But like now in this moment, it's a time for us to really get to work. And if we could just, like you say, use these platforms to really reach people, reach people that are ready to work. Like I was just telling someone today, those who are really willing, ready, and able, like we have to begin to work and build constantly on a daily basis so that we can see a change, like a drastic change, how we want to see, because waiting around, it's just never gonna happen, it's never gonna happen.
that's what when we got 2 minutes before it close on us. But to end it on what we saying, and I'm gonna ask one more question. Just each individually, I mean each individual probably spend like 100 to 200 each weekend going out to the club. And that's probably like 100 people inside the club. And then you add up all the states, that's over $1 million, over $1 billion probably that we spend every weekend going out.
Yeah, that's a small amount. Come on, that's
You know what I'm
$200.
saying?
Sometimes I might spend that, depends on like so yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like
And
that's
that
a lot.
money, but we complain we don't have no grocery store. We ain't got this. We ain't got that. Look,
Yeah, all of our money is tied up in entertainment.
I mean, yeah, look where it's going.
Yeah, it's tied up in entertainment. We need to do a mass pool, right, of our funding from entertainment. Like if I could pull it out, oh my goodness, a mass movement, just pull our shit out of entertainment. I'm sorry, some of the actors, I'm sorry, some of the ball players and the singers and the rappers, but we got real stuff
Mhm.
we gotta get to. You understand? And so it's like, and we need this money to make it happen. It's more than enough to go around. It's more than enough for us to get this done. You know that. It's more than enough. People got pinky rings that can pay for it.
Come on now. We got a minute left before it hang up on us. You got a message that you want to give?
Just that, we focused on the revitalization and the reconstruction of a Black owned and operated financial district. And, that's just come together. You can look us up at universalhandsfoundation.org, Universal Hands on Facebook, and Community Restoration on Instagram. Hey, girl.
Tell her she's gotta make her appearance.
Yeah, she got big since the last time I seen her.
Yeah, you tired? Okay, you're gonna be all right. Say bye to the people who finna close. Look at the camera. Don't look at me. You gotta look at the camera.
Bye.
I appreciate you, sister. I appreciate you, Miss Kelly.
All right, thanks for calling. Reach out to me more.
I will.
All right, later.